The house on Blackwood Lane. No one in the town of Dunsmuir spoke much about the house on Blackwood Lane. It stood at the edge of town, hidden behind a grove of gnarled trees, with its paint peeling and windows boarded up. Once, it had been a grand estate, but for the last 50 years, it had been abandoned, left to rot under the weight of dark rumors. People said it was haunted, by what, no one knew, but every child in Dunsmuir was told to stay far away. So, of course, that's exactly where Daniel, Mark, and Emily went on the night of the blood moon. The three friends had dared each other to explore the house ever since they were old enough to ride their bikes past it. But until that night, none of them had worked up the courage to actually step inside. They'd heard too many stories about the old woman who once lived there, about how her family had disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving her alone until she too vanished without a trace. It was said that at night, strange noises came from the house, like whispers and footsteps, though no one had lived there in decades. "Come on, it's just an old house," Daniel said, standing at the broken gate. His flashlight flickered as the wind picked up, rustling through the dead leaves. "We'll be in and out. Maybe snap a few photos for proof, then head back. Nothing to it." Emily wasn't so sure. She'd heard her grandmother talk about the house once, late at night when she thought no one was listening. Her voice had trembled, and she mentioned something about the others and how they should never be disturbed. Mark, the ever-curious one, pushed open the gate with a loud creak. "Let's go. It's probably just rats and old furniture. Besides, we've come this far. Don't chicken out now." The three of them crept up the overgrown path toward the front door, their footsteps crunching in the stillness of the night. The house loomed above them, its windows like dark, empty eyes staring down. The door was unlocked, its wood swollen and warped from years of neglect. With a groan, it swung open, revealing a narrow hallway that stretched into darkness. Daniel went first, his flashlight casting long, flickering shadows on the cracked walls. The floorboards creaked under their weight, and a musty smell filled the air, like damp wood and something else, something metallic, like rust or blood. "I don't like this," Emily whispered, her voice barely audible over the wind that howled outside. "Maybe we should." A loud thud echoed from upstairs. They froze. "What was that?" Mark whispered, eyes wide. Daniel's flashlight flickered again, and for a moment, they thought it would go out. "It's just the house settling. Old places make noises, right?" But even he didn't sound convinced. They pressed on, moving deeper into the house. The hallway opened up into a large parlor, where dusty furniture sat untouched for years. Cobwebs draped from the ceiling, and the floor was littered with debris. A massive, cracked mirror hung on the wall, its surface covered in grime, but something about it caught Emily's attention. "Do you see that?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Daniel and Mark turned to look. In the mirror's reflection, something moved, just a shadow, passing by the doorway behind them. But when they turned around, there was no one there. "I'm out," Emily said, taking a step back toward the door. "This is too much."